Welcome back, everyone. Today we're looking at Mehdi Hassan's latest podcast with billionaire Huda Beauty. Huda discusses the Gaza situation and how that's affected her as a business owner. Let's get straight into it.
23, you have spoken out on multiple occasions on this issue. As you say, you came to the topic late. You had been indoctrinated as a child, despite being an Arab American. Your husband educates you in 2014. Your employees are giving you tips. That's all great. A lot of people have the knowledge. Not everyone wants to speak out. What makes you think, you know what? I am running this massive business, this massive global beauty company, this brand. We have deals with Sephora and Boots here in the UK and all sorts of stuff. Do I really want to touch the third rail of American politics? Do I really want to touch this issue that has destroyed people's careers?
I mean, I think I always felt like at one point I was going to have to make a decision. You know, I always felt like that. Like always, as a Muslim, I always felt one day there's going to be a situation where I'm going to have to pick a side. And I knew that.
Interesting.
And so I felt like that was that moment, you know, and I had to pick a side. And I made this comment online where I said something to someone who said like a really like just disgraceful comment about people in Gaza and their situation. They were like, I forget what it was. It was a horrible comment. And I replied back to them and I was like, I don't want your blood money. And that went viral. And then I got ridiculed. I got pulled into a room and I was just like made to feel
pulled
like,
by who? Who pulls Huda Kattan into a room?
A lot of people pulled me into a room who were concerned about the comment.
They're like,
they were like, you could have handled this better. And I was like, absolutely not. And they were like, you need to go delete the comment. And I was like, I'm not going to delete it. And
they're like, we're just looking out for you.
A little more harsh than that.
Okay.
A little bit more like, what are you doing? You're going to ruin everything. And we had just gone through this crazy restructuring. We had just spent like, I had removed our CEO in 2021 from the business, got back into the position, spent like the last 2 years rebuilding the business. Was so excited for 2024. I was like, 2024 is going to be the year because we've been like building everything. And I was like, this is the moment we're throwing everything away. And I pulled my husband to the room. And I was like, Chris, I was like, this is the moment where I'm sorry. Like all the hard work we've done is going to be undone and we're probably going to lose everything. And he said to me, he was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll rebuild it. And I was like, that's why I love you. And so he was like, I'm going to support you, be outspoken.
So you both make a conscious decision at that moment that what we do now on this issue could cost us our everything you spent 15 years building up. But we're still going to do it because it matters.
Standing up for what you believe is right is sometimes the hardest thing to do, so well done to her and her husband.
That makes you an activist, I think.
I don't know.
You're someone who's literally activism. You're saying, I'm going to speak out. Do you consider yourself an activist? I
mean, it's so funny. I talked to my husband about this. I'm like, I want to be an activist. I consider myself a person who cares about humanity a lot, very much.
But we could call you a philanthropist, right? Like you've given, I've got the numbers here. You gave, mashallah, $1 million to 2 humanitarian organizations in Gaza, Doctors Without Borders and Human Appeal. You and your sister gave money to Lebanese Red Cross. You're clearly a philanthropist, but if you're taking a lot of people, you know this better than me, a lot of people in your world, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people in California, they've done the kind of, we want to give money and we care about people, but they won't take a political position on right and wrong. They won't criticize the Israeli government. They won't say the phrase blood money like you have. They won't talk about truth and justice. So do you feel like you're doing that because you want to take a stance, you want to change the world? And if that's the case, that makes you an activist.
I mean, I would love to be called an activist, to be honest. I feel like it's an honor to be called that. But I just feel like it's my responsibility, you know, like I've built what I've built and I feel like it's all not been given to me. You know, God has given this to me. I have to do good with it, you know? So
what's disturbed you most, if you don't mind me asking? I know you're a mother, I'm a parent as well. I often ask guests this because we can just talk about Gaza in abstract, but and you spend a lot of time on social media, I know this. How much has seeing those images, what has bothered you most since over the last 14 months, seeing the images coming out of Gaza on Instagram, on social media?
It's hard as a mom, more than anything. Damn it, I don't want to cry.
Sorry.
Do you make people cry on the show?
No.
Okay, good. I don't want to cry. I don't want to be your first guest that cries. I think as a mom, it's the hardest thing. Like you see your children and the children in Gaza. You see your parents and the elderly. You see, you see yourself. I think it's hard not to see yourself in what's happening.
It's awful.
It's awful.
I'd never see, like we talked about the Iraq War.
I think never mind being a parent, but I think as a human, it's hard to see. And you can't even escape it. It's all over Instagram. It's all over TikTok. It's everywhere.
Hopefully they haven't written your name on a rocket like they did for the Hadids.
I mean,
That's what they did. They literally wrote people's names on rockets. It's crazy.
Wow.
But you took that stance.
Hats off to her for pulling out of Israel.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I always think like, you don't want everybody using your products.
That is a bold statement for a CEO to make.
But I'm not for everyone.
You don't want people who support genocide to use your product?
Absolutely not. You're not allowed.
You're not allowed.
No, I hope they don't ever use it. I don't want them to. I know it sounds horrible because you should be products for everyone, but I'm not discriminating against looks, religions, anything. It's like
it's the ideology.
It's the ideology, philosophy. Yeah,
and you're supporting of killing.
Don't buy our products.
I mean, my friend Owen Jones, who I do a segment with, who's a British journalist here, he says the same thing, which is what we've seen people be okay with. I don't think we can ever unsee. I think we, like you said about some of your friends and celebrities.
Are they really okay though? Are they really okay with that?
Who's okay with it?
Are people really okay with seeing what they are seeing?
Well, they have been, right? There are people in my industry, the news media, who've been totally fine with this. Some have supported it, the worst of the worst, but also the ones who are cravenly silent have just turned a blind eye. I don't think I can ever forgive those people. I don't think I'll ever be the same with those people forever.
I'm with you.
I think in 20 years' time, I will still say, I remember what you were like in Gaza.
And that's the thing. I feel like now, looking back, like I said, I have friends who have cut off, who tried to reach out to me to talk to them again. And I'm like, I can't get past this with you.
Genocide's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker. Like, if you want to use your platform on one side, but you can't use it on the other side after so much time has passed, I just can't look you in the eyes. I can't sit with you. I can't break bread with you. I can't pretend like we're good. I can't kiki with you. Like, I can't talk to you because I just can't unsee you as someone as I don't respect.
Have you always been?
I think that's a very important point to make. People forget that during this genocide or what's happening in Israel and Palestine, there's a lot of people with their own personal opinions, and people forget that in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, people are going to look back and remember the things that people have done and the things that people have said. So there you have it, guys. Those were the key highlights from the Mehdi Hassan and Huda podcast, specifically regarding the Gaza-Israel situation and how that's affected her business. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.